Hi, welcome to this channel on magnetic energy technology principles applications. This video is about Ascension. It's basically a Q&A video that I'm trying to get answers out there to these questions. This is highly unconventional information, of course, and this is an etheric magnetic model of the universe. And of course, I'm reticent to do prediction videos, but I guess this is what I'm going to do for now. So let's jump in. So a quick recap. The electricity generation and the materials used in nuclear power plants and nuclear weapons around the world are a primary concern for life on this planet and beyond. So to some degree, we need Ascension to convert to magnetic energy technology. Full ascension and the next cycle cannot take place until after a pole shift in this particular model, according to what we've been given. So given our current level of technology and consciousness, a pole shift would be quite devastating. So here's the basic idea. We get some technologically assisted ascension, which opens mass consciousness to exploring other power sources such as magnetic energy that will replace electricity and provide truly stable, very stable, and very sustainable power, along with everything else I talk about in these videos. Nations will also begin to prepare for the pole shift with a small bit of consciousness, ascension, and consciousness really, right? And start cooperating on a large scale. So after the pole shift, a natural ascension process will unfold, and then magnetic technology can be fully developed and support our societies at every level, which is ultimately, I think, where we're heading, and that will be great. So when will this technologically assisted ascension begin? In 2026, during the second lunar cycle, the technological program to enhance ascension will be turned on, and it will magnify a new stream of energy coming into this planet. This program will increase in power and influence for approximately 3 years and will remain in place as long as necessary until natural ascension fully takes over. Will this ascension program affect everyone? Essentially, all life on this planet will be affected by this program. Humans will be influenced by the change in energy in varying degrees and in varying timelines. What about people who don't want to ascend in consciousness? And there's probably plenty of those around the world right now. So people will be able to resist the changes in energy to some degree, but as the program becomes more intense, it will become more and more difficult to resist the changes. People who try extremely hard to resist these changes could experience mental and emotional breakdowns and even systemic failures like physiological systemic failures. And so this is going to be a little intense for some people. Now, this is a great question. So isn't this type of ascension program an attempt to control free will? Well, so humans currently have the ability to choose within a set range of resonant parameters, and that range is simply being raised. So this process, and this is like a quote, this process is not in violation of any soul level agreements, period. Why does everyone have to be included in this process? Well, I mean, this is a little obvious, but the stakes are so high, the timetable is so tight, and there is very little room for error. And the technology being released, the magnetic technology, is far too dangerous for low-level consciousness. The human race must change the technology it is currently using, and it simply cannot be trusted to use advanced technology at our current level, our low level of consciousness. So, I mean, that's partly why everyone has to be included. There can't be any outliers in this, because if they get a hold of the magnetic technology, they could do tremendous damage, even if it's a small group of people. Why can't people just continue to use electricity and nuclear power and just continue to live the way we are living? And I think that's a legitimate question. It's like, why does anything have to change? We're doing okay, right? Like, people are surviving to some degree. Here's the problem, though. The situation on our planet is so serious that global extinction is inevitable in the near future if things don't change. Also, The resonant etheric pollution being created on this planet is contaminating interdimensional magnetic streams, polluting other worlds, and that process simply cannot be allowed to continue. And that was pounded into us over and over and over. I mean, that's a huge problem. So what are the characteristics of this ascension process? It will become very difficult for people to focus on feelings like hate and anger. And people will begin to experience universal consciousness awareness and their interconnectivity to each other and to all life. Inflicting pain on each other and it becomes very difficult in this energy field where people will instantly feel the pain that they inflict on others. Heart-centered living is magnified while pure mental decision making is lessened, and we have experienced waves of this and like what it feels like, and it is a very bizarre experience, and it is unlike anything that we normally experience in everyday living in today's society. And so it's definitely a change in consciousness. It's an elevation for sure. Aren't emotions like anger sometimes healthy? Well, yeah, I think they are. And acknowledging all of our emotions, such as anger, and not holding those emotions inside can be very helpful. But this ascension process moves us into a completely different model of experiencing emotions. This process essentially it dampens the very formation of those types of emotions and encourages the formation of like empathy, compassion, connectivity, healing, and more, like just peace, love, joy, all those types of things that we stereotypically associate with ascension. Those will be encouraged, and anything that we don't associate it with it typically will be very highly depressed, really, from the system. Will all people ascend at once or just become like clones? And I think that's a great question too. From someone that, you know, because this ascension thing sounds like we're all going to just be the same person, and how boring will life be. But here's the thing. These higher beings are very aware of that, by the way. The energy shift is neutrally based. So each individual will go through an ascension process that is totally unique to that individual while maintaining all of their personality traits, all their characteristics, their skills, their likes, their dislikes, their passions, everything. So we keep our individuality, we keep the essence of who we are, for sure. And each process is slightly different for every person. So will this ascension process create global peace? Global peace is mandatory for the release of neutral magnetic technology. Period. So the answer is unequivocally yes, it is absolutely necessary to create global peace, and this process will do that. How long will this ascension last? It will be enforced. I don't like that word, but that's the word that I'm supposed to say. It will be enforced until the transition into natural ascension is complete, and that will remain for this entire next cycle, which is thousands of years long. So what type of technology will be creating this process? Which I think is another great question, and who will be doing it? There may be some human involvement in this, but for the most part, this is by higher beings. Highly advanced, interdimensional, etherically based technology with predominantly neutral magnetic resonant polarities will be used to influence the entire planet and ultimately the rest of the solar system as well. What can people do to prepare for this ascension process? This is pretty basic. I mean, we are simply being called to do our best to just let go of anger, hate, unforgiveness, all of those things, and welcome the higher energies coming into our bodies, into our planet, and the transformations that will take place. Most of us will truly enjoy this process, and we will gladly and easily move into a golden age of civilization. For those people that are highly resistant to it, they'll have a different experience, but hopefully they will eventually let go, and they'll give this higher energy a chance and let them go through a healing process and really accept that unconditional loving energy, that heart-centered energy, and really kind of move into this universal consciousness with the rest of humanity. Please continue to send in any questions you have, and I will certainly do my best to answer them. And I really appreciate your feedback on all of this and wish everyone the best, and I will see you again next time.